Ya Mas.
Kasian banget.
Ada ini ada perangkat USB. Testing. Iya nak.
Diam-diam kita.
Dari aku. Oh ya. Email Mas itu ya. Boleh. Iya dong. Ini yang full price.
Oh iya, ini yang merah ya. Udah enggak sih? pakai dirimu di sana mahasiswa baru. Dan sih demikian. Formal banget. Ya, aku mau nanya tadi formal banget. Lu kan penampilannya keren banget, nggak mungkin orang begini.
Tes duduk. Tes. Oh itu masuk semua. Mana gambar? Ada juga. Nah ini yang
saya teknikatornya Pak.
Ini moderatornya.
Silakan di situ.
Pas lah Bapak. Presentasi pakai ini, itu buat rekam.
Sudah begitu lah.
Mau pakai laptop ini apa?
Ya boleh presentasi boleh. Cuma silahnya di sini biar bisa.
Oh dua-duanya ketika ngomong
Ya tidak. Kalau pakai ini.
ya berarti harus dua yang operasional. Ketika mencet next juga yang bilang. Biar sinkron saja.
Saya belum teknik.
Ini aja lah.
Tampak.
Nah itu dia.
Minta slide-nya jadi kalau ada prestis.
Udah tahu siapa saya.
Tapi bulannya udah lebih tua kan?
Dikit. Yang penting kan di tahun yang sama daripada situ. Oh, dia lebih tua.
Saya lebih muda dari Anda.
Tahu.
Saya itu termuda. Ayo silakan. Agnes, satu tuan Agnes dari gua tapi.
Lebih apa?
Lebih tua.
Ini on air lah.
Oh iya, oh, Agnes lebih muda.
Lebih tua daripada dia, lu percaya lagi.
Oh dia lebih muda. Bapak-bapak.
Ini apa kita matiin dulu? Tapi mulai lagi nanti. Ada dua.
Oh iya, ada dua ya.
Ada dua jadi. Kalau ada langsung. Wah ada.
Iya kan, toh belum ada pemirsa ini.
Nah, masuk. Ada Bayus.
Butuh password. Yes, sir.
Nanti selanjutnya pindah sebenarnya cuma bisa di-share
Oke.
ketika presentasi.
Udah siap? Bicara?
Maksudnya
Belum.
saya ke situ gimana?
Pakai versi sini.
Oke.
Tulisan bawahnya.
Filenya di
Aku tutup aja dulu.
Saya luar biasa. Sampai ada diskursus. Mereka ada yang mau cari apa sih diskursus? Dia punya bahasa Indonesia yang baca.
Intenso ya? Intenso ya?
Aku punya aplikasinya.
sudah siap.
lagi ini ya mau ngopi presentasi dari sini ke sini.
Nah itu.
Jadi nggak usah pakai ini.
Ya,
Ada punya laser nggak?
aduh, nggak bawa.
Apa?
Laser. Pointer ya.
Ada yang mau laser pointer?
Nanti Bayus bisa gini-gini pakai mouse-nya. Ini mas, sorry.
Ada yang
Sudah?
esensial nggak? Soalnya esensial.
Pinjam siapa mas ya?
Apa?
Pointer.
Yang mana nih? Oh, yang ini ya, Diskusi Kebangsaan.
Iya.
Taruh ini aja mas, di copy dulu ya. Taruh di mana? Di
Desktop.
Nanti Mbak Yus duduk ya?
Lebih suka.
Oh. Nah, gitu mas. Tapi jangan di ini nanti, jangan di full screen ini, crash sama Google.
Oh ya?
Ini aja di share ini loh. Nah gini,
Next, ininya gimana?
ya tetap sama kan, nggak masalah kan?
Oh iya.
Ke bawah, cuman ini nanti. Nah ini begitu screen share. Nah ini yang page ini. Begitu nanti ketika sudah dibuka gitu. Sudah dibuka, nanti screen share. Pas ngomong itu mulai presentasi, di sini nanti.
Share.
Share. Ya, nanti dia tetap online tapi ganti screen. Memang enaknya aku waktu itu pakai mouse wireless juga.
Kayaknya enakan ini deh.
Hmm? Gimana?
Ini mesti tetap mesti harus. Ya udah, ini aja.
Masa aku
Baru ya deh.
enggak bilang aja bawa Serahkan saya. Saya mau ngomong sama aku takut kamu. Jangan mau kamu mana itu? Nanti begitu saya memberi kode ya, kamu mau persiapkan diri dulu. Ya, doa salat dulu. Maksudnya saya acara hari ini terima kasih. Selamat kamu ya. Kamu sudah sekian tahun depan. Oke. Selamat sore teman-teman. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hari ini ada dua agenda. Yang pertama ada diskusi kebangsaan, yang kedua dari check out. Untuk diskusi kebangsaan ini akan dilaksanakan dari jam 5 sebenarnya, tapi ini lumayan telat. Sampai jam 6:30, kemudian dilanjutkan oleh reaching out untuk lapor diri ke KBRI. KBRI-nya yang ke sini. Yang pertama akan dilakukan ini pembukaan, yang kedua akan ada sambutan ketua PPI, yang ketiga dilanjutkan diskusi, yang keempat akan ada acara penutupan, lalu yang terakhir ramah tamah dan foto-foto kalau sempat. Diskusi kebangsaan ini melanjutkan diskusi yang pertama. Ini ada yang kedua. Yang pertama dulu adalah tentang konflik Tolikara. Yang kedua ini adalah tentang mencari kembali makna identitas bangsa untuk memperingati Sumpah Pemuda. Oh, bukan ya, Mas? Oh, sorry. Oke. Mungkin yang pertama saya nggak ikut ya. Oke. Diluruskan. Oke, habis ini akan ada sambutan oleh Ketua PPI Naimekan Kalma Kemalasari. Silakan.
Selamat sore semuanya. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Ini ada kameranya. Bentar, belum napas. Jadi ya, terima kasih kehadirannya pertama dari Bapak Hari dari KBRI. Ada berapa orang, Pak? Dari KBRI? Oh, baru satu ya. Nanti akan ada 100 orang ya, Pak? Ya, terus terima kasih juga pada pembicara kita hari ini, Mbak Yus dan Mas sebentar. Mas Tulu ya dipanggil ya, Mas awal. Iya, Mas Tulu ya dipanggil. Enggak, kenal dari teman dia. Dan terima kasih kepada semua teman-teman yang udah hadir di sini, di luar segala kesibukan, ujian, tugas, PhD, dan sebagainya. Terima kasih sekali sudah menyempatkan hadir. Dan sekarang untuk meluruskan niat tadi, sekarang ada diskusi kebangsaan yang kedua. Diskusi kebangsaan pertama, kalau teman-teman ingat, ada dulu yang kita lakukan bersama Bapak Amin Rais di Gratis Gubau. Diskusi berikutnya Tolikara, itu diskusi 1.1 subpartnya. Dan sekarang ada diskusi kebangsaan yang kedua. Berikutnya, rencana setiap bulan kita akan ada diskusi kebangsaan sebagai bagian dari series lecture yang puncaknya akan diadakan semacam talk show di ICD Februari 2016. Jadi mohon partisipasinya dan bantuannya juga. Udah maghrib juga ya, Mas. Apa mau break dulu atau gimana? Break dulu aja 15 menit gimana? Soalnya bisa di mana Mas Ridho? Di ruangan kita. Gantian aja apa? Ya udah kita lanjut aja, tapi soalnya gantian gitu. Oke. Oke, saya kembalikan kepada moderator kita hari ini. Saya belum dikasih. Oh iya, belum dikasih. Saya serahkan tonggang. Saya kembalikan ke MC Mbak Niha, silakan ke panggung kembali. MC. Makan.
Kemudian yang ketiga adalah diskusi. Diskusi yang pertama akan disampaikan oleh Mbak Yus Brosman.
Moderatornya Mbak.
Moderator yang mondo adalah Mbak Astrid Prawita. Kemudian waktu dan tempat saya persilahkan buat Mbak Astrid menjadi moderator. Terima kasih.
Saya permisi dulu sampai kelihatan. Oke, baik. Selamat sore. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Oh, saya harus berdiri di situ. Maaf, Mas. Nah, di sini ya, biar kelihatan ke seluruh Indonesia seperti biasa. Baik, saudara-saudara, Bapak Ibu. Oh, saya harus menyapa Pak Bambang Hari. Maaf Pak, siapa lengkapnya? Oh iya, Bapak Bambang Hari Wibisono dari KBRI. Terima kasih Pak sudah datang. Mohon maaf kita diskusi dulu kebangsaan. Tidak apa-apa ya Pak. Dan pastinya Bapak harus terlibat dong dalam diskusi ini. Dan untuk teman-teman semua, pada kesempatan ini kita sebetulnya akan kedatangan dua pembicara. Yang pertama, semua pasti sudah kenal, saya nggak perlu memperkenalkan lagi rasanya. Mbak Yus Brosman. Mudah-mudahan nggak salah nyebut namanya. Terus yang kedua akan ada Bapak Awaludin Marwan. Beliau sedang di kereta. Ya, mudah-mudahan sebentar lagi akan bergabung dengan kita. Dan karena sudah cukup terlambat tadi, jadi saya akan langsung serahkan saja kepada Mbak Yus, karena kalau enggak saya pasti ngomongnya akan lebih panjang. Baiklah, kita dengarkan dari Mbak Yus, apa sih sebetulnya, bagaimana sih kita bisa menemukan arti kebangsaan kita. Mungkin saya harus menyampaikan sedikit bahwa Mbak Yus ini anggota dari Indonesian Heritage Society. Apa itu Indonesian Heritage Society? Saya rasa Mbak Yus yang lebih tepat untuk menjelaskannya nanti. Jadi saya serahkan langsung kepada Mbak Yus, silakan.
Bentar Mbak ya. Mana bukunya?
Oh iya.
Bentar Pak.
Tepuk tangan dulu boleh loh, biar semangat. Kayaknya semua terlalu fokus pada slide.
Start kita aja.
Masa nggak dikasih?
Oke, aku startnya gimana?
Yang ini aja. Ya.
Gedein dong.
Nggak bisa Mbak.
Oh,
Cuman
tidak.
takutnya crash nanti ini broadcast.
Oh, ini udah ya.
Heeh.
Maksudnya ini dulu lagi nggak bisa.
Ini bisa dia.
Oh, di.
Sorry.
Udah ya? Oke, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A disclaimer, I would like to excuse my language. I'm going to use English instead of Indonesian because one of my girlfriend here would like to learn about Indonesian history, and I've made the presentation also all in English. And also by means of disclaimer, because since this is a discussion, it won't be a one-way street. So I know some of you might have learned it before, back in the university, back in the high school, all of the history of Indonesia. So within this context, my role is only to remind you, as a reminder. So what really is
that binds us together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. How do let's start?
Aku bantuin. Terus gimana nggak klik ke bawahnya?
Oh, this.
Yeah.
I would like to start with this picture. Has anyone any clue what this is? Gerinsing, exactly. Why I put this one in the beginning of my presentation, because the philosophy behind the gerinsing is really struck me as something that it has to be internalized by each of us. So gerinsing is ikat family, and later I will show you how ikat family has a name, modern name now, as the Austronesian ikat. But this is particularly from Bali, especially in the village called Tenggana. So the philosophy behind this one is like you have the warp thread and you have the weft. So you have the horizontal and the vertical one. So the vertical one is already made, it's already designed for us. Something that we breathe, the air, the natural resources, things that God already given us without we have any, a choice to choose. So our skin, our anatomical appearances. So this is the vertical thread, the warp. And then you have the weft. You have the horizontal one. Then you have the weave into a single piece of cloth. It is something that every society, each of us, is part of that fabric of one wholeness, cosmic, microcosmic, and macrocosmic. This is the philosophy of ikat. And you see this everywhere throughout Indonesia. The same philosophy with gamelan, but gamelan is more complicated. That's why I choose this one. I need someone. Oh, thanks. So today I would like to highlight certain things that that might conjure us ideas that, oh right, we are bound by this this thing. So one is geographic, and second is socioculture and economy. So geographic by means the Banda formation, the formation of our nation as what we know it today, the archipelago, and the Wallace line, Nusantara as what we know it. Maybe one of you might wondering, why do we call, we often say Tanah Air, oh, I'm going back to Tanah Air. Why don't you say, oh, I'm going back to home, I'm going back to Indonesia? So I'm going to explain a bit more in the Nusantara part. And the second one, culture, of course, Austronesian. You have to talk about Austronesian when we want to understand who we are. And the culture and religion actually is connected together. The economy, trade route, we are in the conjuncture of this sea line. And the monsoon, I want to emphasize to all of you the role of monsoon in the trade route. And of course, the natural resources. Next. So just to start, just a reminder, Indonesia derived from two words, the Indo and the Nesia. The Indo is the word from Indus, anything that beyond Persia, the Greek call it Indus. And Nesia is from the Nessos, the island. So the first time the word itself was found in the journal in Singapore in 1850 by Sir Winsor Earl. And although he preferred to use the other one because he came up with two names, Melayunesia and then Indonesia, used U instead of O. And then his apprentice, Mr. Logan, thought that, well, Indonesia sounds nicer, and then consistently he used it throughout his publication. And then by 30 years later, 4 years later, to be precise, Bastian, Adolf Bastian, picked up the name and used in his 6th volume of the Indonesian archipelago. Due to the fact that Bastian lives in Europe and his publication, his book was quite known in Dutch in the Netherlands, picked up by the Indonesian scholars and Dutch scholars. And so a lot of references, a lot of books mention that Bastian was the one who came up with the name Indonesian. So I would like to, this is going to be fast. So just pay attention. This is the formation of our nation. Look at this white line here, the Sunda Trench. This is the tectonic plate that really up to today we still suffer of this volatile natural disaster. This is India. So Himalaya, which is a water, so it would push, this tectonic plate would push this landmass here. And look at the trench, because we are in the conjuncture of 3 trench lines, the tectonic plate. This is Papua, is still attached to Australia. And this, okay, now,
Sorry.
go back. So from this simulation, we see that our nation is composed by 3 parts of the landmass. The first one is part of mainly Java, Sumatra, and Kalimantan were attached to mainland Asia. And this part, Papua, were attached to Australia. And some of this one, it just appeared from the bottom of the ocean. That explains we have here what we call the Paradise of Spices Island. This is the only place in the world you can find, in those days, in the ancient time, the nutmeg, the clove, the mace, the pepper. So this is what really allure the charm, the trader around the world, because this is the place that came out of the ocean. It's not a part of Asian side and also Australian side. And the fact that it came up from the ocean, rich in mineral. Sulawesi, that remind us, Sula is in the language Sulawesi. It's a mean island, and Wesi is iron. So up to today, this part of the island is rich with mineral and iron. Next. So this theory, by the way, the simulation we just saw is from the Oppenheimer Institute, Oppenheimer in England. So this is how we came about with this classification. Is from this guy, Sir Alfred Wallace. So he traveled through Indonesia, through the archipelago in 1856, 52, something like that, up to 8 years later. And so he noticed when he, from Bali to Lombok, he noticed the flora and the fauna that's so distinct from the island. And then he went up to here and he saw more and more that distinction between the island he just came and the island around this one. So he wrote a lot of letters to Darwin, and he wrote a lot of journal. He was a very prolific writer. Although he wasn't from the academia, he was a collector, and his job actually getting all the fur, the bird of paradise to be sold in Europe. And his theory of this suffices to the fittest was actually from him, not from Darwin. Well, Darwin might have thought simultaneously at the same time, but Darwin wasn't a writer. He didn't archive, he didn't document his research. But then when the book Origin of Species came up in the 1856, and his name was still attached. So Wallace's name was attached, Darwin and Wallace, the Origin of Species. But because Darwin was from the elite, he was the chief of the London Society, and while Wallace, which is a commoner, his name got dropped a few years later. So what we know about the origin of species theory is only for Darwin, but apparently it wasn't from him. So the Wallacea, the whole island that he put on the map here, we call this one the Wallacea, in in respect to his finding. Next, please. So now we go back to Nusantara. The first word Nusantara was found in Pararaton, Putan Tular, and the word Nusantara was created a lot of a stir when the first book, this book was confiscated in the Lombok War. The Lombok War is 1894. So a couple of years later, when they started the culture stencil, it was like the other one, the ethical political, the ethical policy when they ended the culture stencil, and then the next one. So this book for the Indonesian was very big. And it was in Leiden, they kept it for some time, and now back in Indonesia, so Negara Katagama and Pararaton. And then this word was so much so that, wow, we have something, we have that sign, we have omen, that this is, we have, you know, this is us. We need to grab that essence. So this is the Nusantara mentioned in this Sumpah Palapa. The oath, the palapa, it's mean fasting. So he Sira Gajah Mada, so he Gajah Mada, and the rest you can read it by yourself. So he made an oath that he wouldn't eat any spices, any good thing, or one said any coconut, until he will unite the Nusantara, will unite the island that's running Java. Next, please. So the idea of Indonesia, one people, when I worked back in Jakarta in the National Museum, one person asked me, what binds you together actually? So it got me thinking, what is Indonesia in the sense that why we came together? Why came together? But then when you think about it, it can date it too much by time. Although this is very, what do you call that? We can't really test the validity. We can't really test, was it really Majapahit Empire that in this, you know, in this map? Because in Negara Katagrama it didn't say much about, except that, oh, he made an oath that he would do it. He was a great man. That was it. So it's very what do you call that, the word? But anyway, next. So next we go to culture. I'll start with Austronesian. Austronesian, of course, is a group of people who speak one language stream. So this model support the out of Taiwan model. This model is supported by data. They have a lot of data. A lot of by archaeological finding, farming models. So the farming model in Taiwan, they can trace back all the way to Indonesia, all the way to Polynesia. And then also through genomic analysis of cultivated coconut and sweet potato. They have a good data. And then language tree, of course, very much supported the out of Taiwan model. However, in 2008, by University of Leeds in England, they came up with this idea out of Sundaland model. And out of Sundaland model, I think in the future will pick up more and more support. For instance, because the DNA tests show that the migration is outward, not downward. And then recently, the recent finding of Gunung Padang is laboratory tested in Miami, also with the carbon dating. It is said that the top layer, Gunung Padang, makes sense? Does anyone know what Gunung Padang is, right?
But maybe for some.
Okay, Gunung Padang is a megalith. It's a structure. It's a stone structure. And recently, there was a big funding because SPE was a friend of one of the archaeologists, the one who's, you know, in this side, and he visited this Gunung Padang, And next thing we know that they got a lot of funding. And next thing we know, Dr. Ali Akbar is the lead of the research team, came up with the number. It means like when they carbon dating this the Gunung Padang, the top layer. So Gunung Padang has more layers. Like at least what we know now is 3 layers. The top layers dated back to 5,500 BC. If you think about this finding, well, this is still ongoing research. We still don't know the validity of the dating, the carbon dating. If we just hypothetically, if it is true, this theory is gone into the bin. Because if there are high civilization in West Java, 5,500 BC, and then this theory said that the people of Austronesian coming down to Java from 500 BC, it can't be. It can't be. You can't have a high civilization while you just move down south. And the next thing, another finding in the cave painting in Sulawesi, also dated back to 43,000 years ago, BC, not years ago, BC. I'm talking about BC. And with the Taoian tools, culture, this theory, it can't be supported anymore. So this is the duty of all of you. When you go back to Indonesia, I'm sure a lot of you are a teacher. So this is one of the things that we need to have a further research. Who we are, we need to find out. So hopefully the Art of Sundaland model will be more picked up in the future. Next, please. This is the language to show you the different people. Okay, ethnic group. I have selected a couple objects that are we call it as a national treasure, because this is my line of expertise back in National Museum in Jakarta. So I want to show you to have a deepened understanding what we share between one island to the other islands. And here is just to show you the ethnic groups in Indonesia. I like the fact that it's very colorful, and especially in Papua, because geographically Papua is very topographically is very the connection between one place and the other is very limited. So due to that fact, they have their own language, its places. The colors show that they speak different language, different culture, and whatnot, and less various than the one in Java, for instance. Okay, next. So I'm going to start with what we have shared, what the culture share. Started with the Dongsong drum. Dongsong drum is actually not made in Indonesia. Dongsong drum is made in north of Vietnam. This is also support the Art of Taiwan model. So they brought into Indonesia with trading, and they brought also the culture of wet rice cultivation. So this one, and then what's surprising is, when you see the detailed design of Dongsong drum, we see things that go back to batik, go back to jewelry, like Mamuli in Sumbawa, like Lil Buti in Leti Islands, like things in Nias, and the pattern in batik. So whether we have inspired them or they have inspired them, this needs further research. And everything what we know today, historically, we are heavily rely on the prasasti, the stone inscription. This one particularly, this is not the oldest one. The oldest one is from the Yupa stone, the Kutai, in the 4th century. This is dated back to 7th century. Why I picked this one? This is the stone inscription that really showed us the structure of the social, of the economy, because some of the word, this is in some old Malay language, some of the word I still can understand, like berniaga, stuff like that. And the king's retinue, and the also the oath. So we can see how, because now we are in the 7th century. We were in the tribal society, small but very strong tribal society. And then as soon the cultivation, the wet rice cultivation, so the population expand because they have enough food. They have so in order to accommodate this expansion of a population, a stronger system needed, and Hinduism brought to it. It's a system what we know as a kingship. So from the tribal, this inscription is saying that I, the king, rule over this and certain land, and then you have to. A lot of word it said that refer to drunk. It insinuate that the one who takes the oath would have had to drink the water that pour from this, and then to say the allegiance to the king. If you act of treason to the king, and the water will have killed you. So this is the one of the prasasti that is still intact and beautifully made, and it's very significant to look back the culture back then. So this is Austronesian ikat. Unfortunately, we don't have this one. This is displayed in, do you know, does anyone know where? No, in Australia. Australia. So this one, the bronze weaver lady, was found in Flores by a family who sold it to an art collector, a Swiss art collector, and then he sold it again to the collector, sold it to the museum in Sydney, and the museum in Sydney paid for 25 million. And we can't afford to buy that back. But this is all very significant knowledge to us, the Indonesian people. This is showing that how the weaving started very early in Indonesian archipelago, and how the technique is already well advanced in our nation. And then because in early time when it's tribalism and then the animism society, something that is beauty is for God. So this is a part of honoring the God, honoring the prosperity, and then up to today they're still doing it, by the way, in Sumba. So the second object I want to show you is the martaban jar. Martaban is again a port in China where they brought how the exchange, the trading system back then. And why I put this one, because martaban jar throughout the archipelago is used in different types. From Dayak, they use this to put the bones, the second burial, and they put it in front of the house. And then in Java, we use the gentong to put rice. And so we share that, commonality. We share something that was brought to us. Martaban, the left-hand side on my left, yes, it's made in China, of course. And the second one, gentong, we copy it. We are good with that. And then we use this for water, to contain water and rice. Austronesian houses. Earlier I mentioned the tribalism, the simple society, and then it's also translated in their house. The first house is gadang, tongkonan, rumah panjang. What do you see? What is the similarity? What is the commonality you can see firsthand? On poles, right? Hi. So this is not only for aesthetic value or for practical reason, for the animal and safety, the flooding, the water, whatnot. This is also part of the religion. So the beliefs of the underworld, the living world, and the upper world. So it explained why they are always decorated, the slanting, the beautifying of the roof. And this one, and Tongkonan as well, and every places in Solok, in Medan, they all beautifying the roof, because there where the God lives, the abode of the divine. And then of course the underworld with the evil, with the animal, the bestiality of life, and the living life is in the middle part. So Austronesian houses, why I say Austronesian houses? Because it's common houses throughout Indonesia, except Java. Except Java and Bali, we might have in a long time, because in Borobudur we have a houses, whether it is Javanese houses or houses from a different island, but in our history we don't have a house and poles. Next please. Still they have, but not that high.
Yeah, Malay also doesn't have a pool.
You want to ask something or you want to make it?
Okay, I'm running against the clock, so I'm just going to break through it. Wanaboya treasure. Have anyone heard about the Wanaboya treasure? This is actually the biggest finding in our archaeological world. This is how we look back, really all the way to 8th, 9th century. And this gives a lot of knowledge, a lot of understanding to the people of the ancient. So Wanaboya treasure was the biggest finding in Indonesia, because it's worth almost 17 kilograms worth of gold and silver, and it's very a lot. And then one of the prima donna of that hoard or that treasure is this one. This one, Wanaboya. It's called a Ramayana bowl because it depicted the Ramayana story. So the adoption of Sita and Wana. The funny thing about this Ramayana version is that when we invited Indian expert on Ramayana to analyze this one, he has no clue. He has no clue, except only, oh, that is Sita, and the whole story, it is Javanization of the Ramayana. So can you imagine? We made this one. If you show it to the jewelry maker, jewelry artists nowadays, they would just, how did they make this one with the simple tools? Because this is dated to 9th century. Imagine, Europe is still dark, still Viking rules here, and then the savagery. And in Java, we made this one. So this is something that it's mind-blowing. In aspect of design, in aspect of wealth, in aspect of the story that came about to it. And it's also give a clue why Borobudur was hidden in 1,000 years. Does it ring a bell? So Borobudur was hidden for 1,000 years until in 1814, Raffles and archaeologists finding. Okay, next. So for the love of your country, when you're in Indonesia, when you're in Jakarta, go visit the National Museum. This is except the bronze beaver lady, it's found in National Museum. Why in Gamelan? When I came, started course at the National Museum, it struck me that in Dayak, in Cirebon, and in different places, they have their own gamelan. I thought gamelan was archived, the heritage of Java, but apparently it's not. I tried to find references why that was Majapahit propaganda when they send, this upeti, the money from these islands, and the send back gamelan, I don't know, I can't find any reference. So this is also, you know, another thing that need to further research. And why, of course, by the 8th, 9th century, we have already our own Javanization of the Mahabharata and Ramayana. Next slide. Religion. This is very hard to really pitch, because some maybe ask one friend of why Islam in Indonesia is different. Why Buddhism in Bali, Hinduism in Bali is different than the India? We can't really answer just one, you know, thing to satisfy the question, because first we honestly hardly reference, except the reference that are really good that is the Clifford, the Religion of Java. It gave us really a window to, wow, this is okay, something really substantiate research. So religion, this is what I show you here is the Kutai Prasasti. In the Kutai, little do we know Buddhism, Hinduism flourished in Kalimantan. And today, in the modern time, we have no idea why. We still have no clue why. And in this World Art Affair in Paris, 1931, there was an artifact from Kutai that was shown in Paris, burned down. And then it's a statue of Buddha. And this particularly is Hinduism. So it seems that Hinduism and Buddha was already coexisting next to each other, not only in Java, but also in different islands. And as in Sriwijaya, we know the great Atisha. Atisha, the great teacher of Tibet Mahayana Buddhism. He was educated 10 years in Sriwijaya. So Sriwijaya was the Vatican of Buddhism in those times. And still we can't really show to the world, look, we were that type of a place that, receptive to any different religion that the man came up with. Next. Okay, back to before the organized religion came about in our archipelago. Of course, I just need to mention the indigenous belief system. And to name the few, we know Kejawen, we know Kaharingan, we know Marapu. I'm sure there are many more that we can mention, but the people itself, they don't know the name. They don't even know when you ask them. And then the thing is, what I show you here, even though this is black and white picture taken from the collection of Tropo Museum in the early 1900s, they're still practicing it. The megalith in Sumba, they still erect megalith to their ancestor. The picture I saw here, this is in Toraja. This is in Tanah Toraja. And Samanisham, Tunggal Panaluan, Batak, do you know what Tunggal Panaluan is? It's a staff owned by the Datuk, the shaman, that really casts the power and whatnot, and then people has to obey what the shaman say and that sort of things. And we still have it. The next. Dynamism, animism, it's just two things that then the same. This is the flavor that actually imbued in Islam, in Christianity, in Buddhism, and Hinduism. This is what I show you is, this is what gives flavor. This is what makes us different, because we were already religious. We were very receptive. All these different religion power, because we were religious people. We accept things. I mean, like the Indian Hinduism, when they came to Bali, they have no clue what they were, seeing, because it's completely different.
Next.
Oh,
Sorry.
Bingung. So the first one, the animism I'll show you is a hudok mask from Dayak. and the other one was Nias Adu. So each island share this general commonality that they worship certain things, and then the same in Java. This is Java, no different. So Buddhism, Hinduism came about. This is the guy who thought to have spread the Buddhism, Hinduism in Java, Risi Agastya. I don't want to dwell more about on this guy next because I think I'm running late. So Borobudur Rasi, this is the epitomize of the Buddhism culture in our country. Built in 70 years. After 1 year, it completely covered. Until 1,000 years later, it was found by the Cornelius Dutch archaeologist. And the funny thing is, the building of Borobudur inspired the building of Angkor Wat, because Angkor Wat Jayavarman V was born and bred in Java, in Salendar Court. I just want to show you the artistic craftsmanship in the Islamic culture. Islam was starting to put more tentacle in Indonesia before the colonialism came. This is basically one of the highest culture of Islam that can give us in Indonesia. This is the Banten crown. It was made in 1540. So 1540 and 16, just before just after Portuguese came, and then they worn it until the 1822 when they dismantled the Kesultanan Banten. And I'm not gonna bore you with all design, but not you can ask me much later. Next. So another thing that really share with Java and then different islands is this one. This is Masjid Demak, one of the first, not the very first. This is one of the first that was built in 1401 Saka year. Saka year is plus 78. So this is you can see the design. This is Hinduism and Buddhism design. To the fact that this is Mahameru mountain, the 3-layer. Maybe you can the nasi tumpeng. Why we still make nasi tumpeng? What is the history of nasi tumpeng? It is dated back to that culture, that the god lives in all in the abode, in the highest thing. I mean, Borobudur oriented to 2 mountains, Gunung Pada oriented to Gunung Galunggung. So all this monument is all oriented, facing to the mountains. So it's one of it. And you wouldn't believe, when I saw this one, I thought this was in Java. This one was in Aceh. This is most in Aceh. Unbelievable. This is also Tropo Museum collection in early 1900. So our tradition, I mean, like, how would the Aceh make mosque like this? They were very proponent of, very closely linked to Saudi, to the Middle East, but still they build mosques resemble to the one in Java. Or I don't know who inspired who. Next, this is again in Martapura, Kalimantan, the same with the 3 tiers roof. Next, it's in Lesser Sumba in Lombok.
Actually,
Yep.
time is up. Actually.
Yep. Just want to show you the commonality, the difference. Christianity, of course, the conjecture with the arrival of a colonization in the 16th century. Next. About the trade route, we are the in that conjuncture of the big China and India civilization, where the trade route was very active, very flourishing. The time of immemorial, the time go back to a long time ago. Next. Just take a look at this one. Why would the age of discovery started? What was ignite the age of discovery? Can you think of something?
Colonialism.
Colonialism. Silk. Why? Because they could trade. They could have anything by trading. So what happened in the 1258 in this part of the world?
There's a Roman, isn't it?
1258. To be exact, is 28 August 1258. The sack of Baghdad by the Mongol. So the Silk Route was closed after this the massacre, after the Great Calamity. So this completely closed. So the trader needed to pass all the way this. Any goods, any trading stuff, any spice that came to Europe, it was a fortune. It cost them a fortune because this one was closed by the Mongol. And what happened in the 13th century in Europe? What really gripped Europe around that time? That actually killed 1/3 of the civilization of the people. The Black Plague. The Black Plague. Recently, they analyzed that the people who survived the Black Plague was people who has in the painting, like in the painting, in the 13th century painting, all the monks, all the people who lives in a monastery, they have this rosary. And this rosary is not a rosary, it was a spices. Spices was the one that saved them from the Black Plague. So by then, spices was so much needed, so much wanted in Europe that we create a bus. We need to find that spices island. So this is one of the theories to ignite the age of discovery. Next. So the monsoon, we haven't heard much. I'm going to wrap it up. The thing with monsoon, we have 2 monsoon seasons. By the time you have one season that you come to Indonesia to buy goods, to exchange stuff, and then next summer. But then when they have, when they're doing the activity, it won't take them 6 months. So what they do, they settle. They settle in the coastal area, and the infusion of culture take place. This is what monsoon season roles in the infusion of culture to culture. Next. So natural resources, I wouldn't dwell much of this. Next. So historical timeline, we can just gloss over it. You can read it in your leisure time. So I think that's about it. And I want you to question stuff. I want you to question who we are, and what we can contribute to the society. And when you go back to Indonesia, be that agent of change. Be that someone who can motivate your student, your friends, whatever, to search more who we are and what binds us together. Thank you.
Terima kasih Mbak Yu, saya akan switch lagi ke bahasa Indonesia. Sebelum saya lanjutkan, mungkin saya mau bertanya dulu kepada Bapak Ari, gimana acaranya?
Ya, kita lanjut tanya jawab.
Oke, masih ada waktu untuk tanya jawab? Harusnya masih ya. Saya lihat ada beberapa tambahan tamu. Mohon maaf, saya secara umum aja ya menyambut selamat datang kepada para tamu-tamu yang baru hadir. Kita baru saja mendengarkan paparan dari Mbak Yus tentang, dan pertanyaannya sangat menggelitik untuk mencari tahu siapa sih kita sebagai orang Indonesia. Dari tadi sudah dipaparkan bahkan dari pembentukan Indonesia secara geografis, kemudian budayanya yang sangat banyak, dan ternyata budaya kita berkembang dari sebelum sangat jauh. Ada yang ingin bertanya mungkin, ada yang, karena ini diskusi, betul tadi di awal juga Mbak Yu sudah bilang ini diskusi sebetulnya. Jadi kalau ada yang mau tanya, silakan tanya. Cuman jadinya pembicaranya yang harus memaparkan terus. Tapi banyak hal yang menggelitik.
Diskusi pertama Mas, diskusi kedua Pak.
Diskusannya sangat pendiam. Yang saya tahu diskusannya diskusan itu bahasa Indonesia bukan sih?
Ikut diskusi.
Yang ikut diskusi. Ya,
Itu memicu
Mas Manu
diskusi.
nggak, pemikiran-pemikirannya kan sangat dahsyat. Menurut Mas Manu kan apa sih Mas Manu nggak sebagai orang Indonesia?
Ayo diskusan pertama.
Gimana?
Apa yang menjadi pemersatu Indonesia?
Tadi itu justru yang ditanyakan oleh Mbak Yus. Mungkin ada yang tergelitik untuk menjawab. Yang paling muda.
Oh, jadi,
Boleh.
oh ya.
Supaya apa yang sebenarnya bisa kita, kenapa kita harus memanggil diri kita ini?
Ini semuanya, kalau kita mau semuanya menyampaikan pertanyaan yang sebetulnya menanyakan pada diri sendiri gitu ya.
Tapi tadi kan Mbak Yus pertama pertanyaannya sebenarnya udah ditanyakan ke Mbak Yus dari seorang tulis ya gitu. What binds you together? Kita tanyakan. Terus Mbak Yus waktu ditanya begitu
Jawabnya apa?
Well, firsthand, my reaction was Majapahit. The territory of Indonesia we know today go back to Majapahit for a time, power. But when I read the book that you recommended, it is basically imaginary thing. Something that it's within us. You can throw any factor, you can throw anything to you that, oh, we are bloodline, we are whatever. But if something that is not within us, we wouldn't have that unity.
Tapi yang menarik dengan Majapahit ya, karena sekarang ada beberapa penelitian yang terbaru yang mengatakan bahwa Majapahit tidak sebesar yang apa yang kita pikirkan selama ini. Karena itu pertama kali yang menyatakan itu, saya pikir adalah Muhammad Yamin ya, yang mencoba mengatakan bahwa Indonesia itu dulu segede Majapahit itu segede Indonesia, sehingga ayolah kita klaim lagi Indonesia yang jaya pada masa dulu. Tapi kalau bukti arkeologinya, Majapahit itu cuma di bahkan nggak seluruh Pulau Jawa bahkan. Pemaafnya mungkin pembicaraan kedua.
Ya boleh diangkat dulu.
Yeah, Majapahit never have subjugated Pajajaran. Pajajaran came under the control in the Sultan.
Oke. Mungkin kalau kita mulai bicara soal Majapahit, Sriwijaya, Pajajaran, kemudian balik lagi ke pertanyaan tadi siapa orang Indonesia. Salah satu yang dipaparkan Mbak Yus adalah soal budaya dan soal sejarah. Kira-kira teman-teman ada yang tahu nggak sih? Tadi yang Mas Ari bilang bahwa ayo kita dulu ada ide, ayo kita kembali ke zaman Majapahit yang sebesar itu. Oh ternyata Majapahit tidak sebesar itu. Tapi teman-teman tahu nggak Majapahit itu tahun berapa? Siapa? Rupanya dekat kisah belajar Majapahit.
Hampir tidak menemukan sisa-sisa. Mungkin beberapa jadi tapi sisa yang lain juga.
Ada yang mau coba menjawab atau menanggapi pertanyaan-pertanyaan tadi? Ada yang tahu nggak Majapahit? Atau ada yang pengen kasih ide siapa sih menurut teman-teman Indonesia itu apa dan siapa sih sebagai orang Indonesia? Atau menanggapi apa yang dipaparkan Mbak Yus? Udah panjang itu slide-nya 200 loh. Coba ditanggapi dengan susah payah.
Kalau aku kira itu dari kolonialisme juga sih yang menyatukan. Jadi kolonialisme dari kerajaan Belanda itu kan antara Jawa, terus Sumatera, terus ada kerajaan dari Spanyol dan Portugis kan di daerah timur. Nah, sebenarnya sih kalau bisa kita pikir dari kolonialisme sendiri, harusnya tidak menjadi satu karena beda penjajah jadinya. Tapi mungkin dikarenakan satu kebersamaan, sama-sama
Orang jajahan.
jadi merasa wah ini kalau kita nggak bareng-bareng kerjasama untuk apa ya mengusir mereka bakal nggak jadi.
Gimana Mas yang tahu? Saya kurang jelas. Bisa dielaborasi lebih lanjut.
Solidaritas.
Solidaritas itu bahasa Indonesia.
Dan yang unik yang saya temukan di sebenarnya beberapa minggu lalu sih, baru membaca artikel juga. Jadi ternyata pada saat dia meninggalkan negara Indonesia di sekitar ada 17 dan 18 itu biologi itu dijadikan sebagai parameter untuk sistem pemerintahan. Dalam arti eugenik bilang ini. Jadi bagaimana kamu itu lahir dari keluarga mana, anaknya siapa, baru bisa dapat posisi tertinggi. Kalau misalnya di Indonesia, jadi European itu posisinya tertinggi, Indo-Europe posisinya selanjutnya, itu jadi posisi yang paling bawah. Nah, yang di Indo-Europe ini kan 50-50 nih jadinya. Ada sebagian dari Indo-Europe yang ternyata mereka itu juga ikut mendukung pergerakannya untuk orang pribumi untuk teredukasi. Gitu. Jadi apa yang siapa itu Indonesia bukan cuma orang yang lahir di sana, tapi mungkin yang cinta lah ya,
punya rasa
menarik ya, karena Islam Nation itu yang saya pernah baca itu ada sampai sekarang sendiri, sampai sekarang itu tidak pernah terdefinisikan dengan jelas. Mohon dikoreksi bagi yang lebih paham ya. Tapi pernah saya baca Islam Nation itu sendiri tidak pernah bisa terdefinisikan dengan jelas. Yang pertama mendefinisikannya, jadi ada dua bentuk definisi terhadap nation. Ada strict definition, ada yang kata loose definition. Strict definition itu ditemukan salah satunya oleh Max Weber, yang dia bilang bahwa nation itu harusnya based on ethnicity. Nah, tapi ethnicity alone cannot define nations. Nah, di atas ethnicity itu ada, kalau dalam bahasa Weber itu kalau saya nggak salah political communal inspiration seperti itu. Jadi ada misi politik. Dan ketika etnis itu tidak mampu mendefinisikan misi politiknya, maka mereka tidak bisa disebut sebagai nation. Nah, yang kedua, loose definition, mereka cuma mengambil ini gitu. Yang salah satu yang tadi sudah disampaikan Pak Yus, definisinya dengan kekerasan, gitu. Bahwa yang disebut nation itu adalah orang bersama-sama, kemudian memformulasikan cita-cita politik mereka. Gitu. Nah, walaupun mereka berasal dari etnik yang berbeda. Nah, itu kemudian bangsa.
Oke, aku nation. Sekarang bahasa Jawa, coba. Dia mau masuk lagi gitu ya, kalau menjelaskan. Ada lagi mungkin yang punya pemikiran lain?
Your comment on the colonialism. That I'm sure there's an element here that we are guided by the administration, But we need not to forget that when the Dutch left and the Japanese were here, and we have filled out country everywhere around, like Siak, because Siak and Rock, they really supported the economy. And there are a lot of kingdoms, small kingdoms throughout Maluku and that part. And Yogyakarta, I mean, in the beginning, it did not do the king really Hamengkubuwono the Royal supported it. They wouldn't really wanted to join Indonesia. So the sense of that togetherness, the unity. I know that Majapahit is very much contested in the territory. But that was the thing that I mentioned when the book was found, considered the Lombok War. The ethical policy was coming into fruition, and the people allowed to go to school. And that moment was shifting. Look, we are one. We are that, a nation that was subjugated so badly to colonialism. You would never find the answer. And by the way, something that I forgot to mention, in Indonesia, the word itself is very elitist. Very elitist. Only among the scholars knew about it. Until Supratman wrote a song, composed a song, and it's really put it into public discourse. And then by then we heard about it. Before then, we know about Nusantara. That was the word, the thing that defined us. I mean, the tanah and then the air. I think that is the end discussed for my part, because I don't need to pray. It's we share that the tanah and the air.
Terima kasih Mbak Yusuf, ini menarik ya. Mungkin pertanyaannya bukan cuma sekedar, tadi saya juga ingin menggarisbawahi lagi pertanyaan dari Mbak Yusuf, bukan sekedar siapa sih kita, tapi kemudian apa yang bisa kita lakukan. Mungkin siapa sih kita membuat kita terus merefleksikan kita sebagai orang Indonesia ini siapa, apalagi kita yang ada di sini, tidak berada di tanah air. Mungkin kita harus terus-menerus merefleksikan siapa sih kita, sehingga nanti ketika kita balik, yang lebih penting lagi adalah apa yang bisa kita lakukan. Terima kasih Mas. Dari sekarang, sejak kita bertanya dimanapun kita, tentu bukan hanya siapa kan kita, tapi bisa melakukan. Dan bukan cuma bertanya mungkin ya, tapi betul-betul kita bisa melakukan sesuatu. Kita melanjutkan diskusi ini, atau kita masih menunggu sesuatu, atau ada acara lain? Iya, Ibu Ketua. Oh, kalau itu saya serahkan kepada Ibu Ketua yang bisa menjelaskan. Secara keseluruhan kali seluruh rangkaian acaranya kita ngumpul ngapain aja.
Jadi untuk yang baru datang juga saya ucapkan terima kasih sudah meluangkan waktu di sini, walaupun mungkin awalnya hadirnya untuk bersilaturahim dengan pihak KBRI, tapi sekalian di sini kita sudah sama-sama bergabung, jarang-jarang ramai di acara Nemehan. Hari ini kita mengadakan acara diskusi kebangsaan yang kedua, di mana diskusi kebangsaan yang pertama itu dulu yang kita lakukan dengan pembicaranya Bapak Amin Rais, Ketua Amin Pembinaan di sini. Dan acara ini rencananya akan menjadi bagian dari suatu rangkaian series lecture yang puncaknya akan diadakan pada Februari 2016 di acara Indonesian Culture Day yang akan rencananya juga akan diselenggarakan di Nemehan. Jadi mohon partisipasi dan bantuan semuanya. Lalu, iya. Nah, untuk Bapak Bambang yang dari tadi hadir di sini, saya lupa punya apa lagi. Mas Mami dong, saya lupa punya Bapak yang nyuruh. Ya Pak, boleh komen-komennya. Oh, terakhir. Mungkin ya ada teman-teman. Jadi tadi itu adalah pembahasan tentang siapa kita. Siapa kita dalam definisi adalah Indonesia ya. Jadi disampaikan oleh Mbak ya, dan diskusi kebangsaan kali ini ada pembahasan tentang Indonesia itu apa dari sisi sejarahnya. Rencananya pembicara kedua akan menyampaikan Indonesia itu apa dari antropologi hukum, budaya. Saya bukan orang sosial, Mas. Terus pembicara yang akan datang dan masih di sini rencananya untuk berbicara dan hadir di sini, semoga bisa sedikit memberikan bahan diskusi juga untuk kita. Dan habis acara diskusi kebangsaan ini akan ada acara lapor diri dan silaturahim dengan pihak KBRI. Jadi untuk teman-teman yang hadir di sini, untuk dengan tujuan utamanya adalah lapor diri, semoga senang mendapat tambahan ilmu di sini dan semoga tidak menyesal datang ke sini. Enggak lah ya. Ada yang mau ditambahin lagi? Oh ya, acara ini juga gabungan acara dari PPI Nemehan bekerja sama dengan Indonesian Forum in Nemehan, yaitu forum PhD. Bukan, yang diketahui oleh Mas Ari. Mas Ari silakan dijelaskan. Jelaskan silakan Mas, apa itu ya?
Itu ada Mbak Yus, ada Mas Lino, dulu Mas Lino, namanya IFM. Jadi kita rencana dulu kita yang di sini orang-orang Indonesia yang bikin riset, kumpul, sharing idea, sharing ide, berbagi pemikiran, berbagi ya diskusi lah gitu. Karena waktu itu seolah-olah orang Indonesia dan Indonesia karena belum banyak jadi saling nggak kenal sama lain. Yuklah ngumpul, sambil ngumpul kita sekaligus ini bagi-bagi cerita gitu, ide apa yang dikerjakan gitu. Jadi walaupun awal-awalnya PhD yang di sini, tapi sebenarnya bukan cuma PhD, siapa aja gabung gitu. Jadi intinya ada ide yang menarik untuk disampaikan, untuk dibagi, untuk disebar, ayo. Jadi awalnya kalau nggak salah saya itu tahun 2009 awal-awal sekali kita bikin acara itu, terus berkembang jadi rutin. Nah, pertama namanya Nine Medan Ceria, karena ya kita ngomong ceria-ceria aja. Sampai sekarang juga tetap disebut Nine Medan Ceria untuk kumpul itu. Dan tahun 2009 itu belum ada PPI-nya kan, jadi kita bikin sendiri aja. Nah, terus kemudian berkembang, kita bikin ya untuk kumpul orang Indonesia bareng di sini. Ayo, masa kita orang Indonesia tahu kan orang Indonesia tapi ngapain di sini kita nggak tahu gitu. Jadi sebaiknya kumpul ngobrol bareng. Itu ide awalnya. Nah, sampai akhirnya kita pertama mau bikin namanya
scientific
forum Indonesia mengingatkan. Nah, itu istilahnya. Kemudian ini kalau ada istilah scientific kalau berat gitu, kita mau lebih inklusif lagi gitu. Makanya terakhir walaupun belum ketok palu, tapi kita sudah sepakat namanya Indonesia Forum Mengingatkan. Demikian di sini Indonesia itu bahasa Inggris sebenarnya. Maksudnya supaya lebih inklusif. Nah, dan karena PPI sudah semakin established, mapan. Nah, jadi kita sering kolaborasi dengan PPI. Kita sering kolaborasi dengan PPI sehingga kegiatannya selalu tadinya sih tadinya ya untuk amal juga. Karena orang-orang Indonesia itu juga gitu. Kita nggak banyak amat gitu. Jadi begitulah. Ya kita mau bikin jadi series lecture karena belum pernah kita bikin series lecture. Biasanya itu terpisah aja gitu ya. Hari ini kita mau tema ini, ayo. Gitu. Ada teman yang pengen defense gitu. Aku pengen ini, pengen jadi trial gitu. Oke, bikin. Nah kali ini kita pengen bikin jadi series lecture gitu. Oh iya Pak, ada sedikit pertanyaan. Ini dulu ada semacam Indonesia Forum ya. Sebenarnya ya awalnya terbuka Pak. Sebenarnya ada dua di sini dari Indonesia. Agak bisa pakai bahasa Indonesia. Iya. Ya, anjing tuh. Niatnya sih tidak, Pak. Maksudnya ini, kadang-kadang memang kita perlu berkumpul saling mengenal agar kita berkumpul ya. Tapi mungkin biasanya kadang-kadang kita perlu melakukan komunikasi itu dengan teman-teman yang mungkin mahasiswa dari Belanda, juga dari negara lain. Kita ada komunikasi dua arah, kita juga bisa menyampaikan pandangan-pandangan kita ini kepada teman-teman yang lain, kita juga bisa memastikan dari yang lain. Ya, memang cita-citanya seperti itu Pak. Saya dulu pernah Agnes, ya kan, waktu itu. Silakan.
Ya, apa yang mau diceritakan? Ya, teman saya waktu itu. Nanti akhirnya diskusinya harus dengan dalam bahasa Inggris. Tidak semuanya
Ya, betul kan. Memang secara umum ide kita ini tidak eksklusif Indonesia. Oh iya, kita juga pernah acaranya macam-macam gitu. Jadi bukan cuma diskusi, pernah kita juga nonton film bareng, tapi apa akhirnya diskusi juga. Gitu. Nah, waktu itu kita juga undang orang luar Belanda ya, Filipina. Oh iya. Oh, nggak tuh. Begitu Pak. Oh ya, jadi dengan rangkaian diskusi kebangsaan ini ada beberapa yang sudah kita bicarakan. Ini yang kedua sebenarnya. Yang ketiga nanti ada mungkin ya kita masih terbuka di ide-ide. Ini pada teman-teman yang punya ide apa yang sebaiknya kita buat, silakan. Kita terbuka dengan ide-ide masukan-masukan dari teman-teman. Tapi sekarang kita masih mengusung temanya kebangsaan. Karena tujuannya nanti ketika kapal tadi adalah ICD, Indonesia Culture Day, yang temanya adalah nah itu harmony in diverse gitu ya, jadi berbeda-beda salah satu. Nah kita pikir ini cocok sekaligus memperingati Sumpah Pemuda. Kita coba angkat itu dan jadikan series lecture dan sampai nanti ujungnya adalah ICD itu. Kita lihat Indonesia ini apa sih sebenarnya? Apakah kalau kita sebagai Indonesia itu masih relevan atau tidak? Apalagi sekarang ini kita di sini, jauh dari Indonesia, di negara yang dulu menjajah Indonesia. Apakah ada yang bisa kita lakukan? Apakah kita bisa menemukan karena identitas kita tuh bisa terpertanyakan gitu. Apa sih sebenarnya identitas kita? Indonesia itu apa? Seperti itu. Jadi mudah-mudahan ini jadi pemicu. Ini bukan sebuah konklusi. Kita harap ya diskusi ini tidak merupakan konklusi, tapi pemicu diskusi-diskusi.
Kebetulannya hilang.
Oh ya. Kalau kita telah dengan
mungkin ada dari KBRI. Oh, tadi belum sempat menyambut Bapak dengan selamat datang kepada Bapak Ibu sebagai wakil kepala perwakilan kuasa usaha itu bersama. Iya. Mungkin dari KBRI ada untuk memulai acara apa
Oke, baik teman-teman semua, selamat petang. Selamat petang ya. Sebelum acara opening kita mulai,